Hello, this is Dr. Amber Hughes. In this video I'm going to go over career research. You can see here on the screen that I have some steps for doing career research. This is something you should be doing throughout the process of your career planning. However, you shouldn't necessarily do it too early on. So typically when we talk about career planning and career decision making, the first step is really to get to know yourself, get to know your interests, your skills, your values, the things that are going to help you make a career decision. This is going to help you with your career research. So if you haven't done that stuff when you're doing this research, you're not going to really be looking at the information with intention. And so doing some of that, some of those self-awareness type activities will help you do your research. And so I would do that first before you get to this step. So by this point, you've ideally narrowed down some career families or some job options. You certainly don't need to have made a choice by this point. However, there's just so many jobs out there that it can really be overwhelming unless you have narrowed it down to a handful even. As many as 5 or 6 would be fine. Usually I recommend 2 or 3. And it can be families, like the medical field, which still contains so many jobs that it's still going to be a little bit overwhelming for you, okay? So again, try and do some other activities before you get to this step. All right. The second step is to use reputable sources. You can certainly Google information. I do it. We all do it. However, again, Google is going to bring up so much information that I recommend starting with one of these 2 websites. These are good sources of information. They're put out by the government and they're going to contain accurate, up-to-date information on what's going on in the world of work. And I'm going to show those to you now. So the first is Ownit online. This is a really good resource. You can search in a lot of ways and you can just browse occupations. If you click here, it gives you a ton of options for how you can look for jobs or look at jobs. You can search by Bright Outlook if you're wanting to look for jobs that have a lot of openings or are kind of have a good outlook. You can search by green economy sector. So this whole part of the economy has been identified as something that's growing, so they've given it its own category. Same with STEM fields. You can also search by job family, which is going to be similar to looking for jobs by industry or career clusters. So these are just ways to group the careers, so you can browse that way as well. You can also browse by training. If you're looking for something that you can get into right now with little or no preparation, you can search that way, and so on. So that's one option if you're wanting to do that browsing. You can also look over here. You can search by like abilities or interests or knowledge, and so on. But I would recommend doing one of 2 things. First of all, you could just search by typing in careers right here. So let's say you're interested in teaching. It's going to pull up everything that has teaching in the name. Okay, so this is just a search engine. Let's say you're considering high school teaching. So you would click on that job or that career. It's going to give you a summary right here. And so let me just jump back over to my recommended steps. So first of all, look at salary information and job outlook information. However, you should consider all the factors that impact these. So you can look, like I showed you, you can search for jobs by outlook here on Ownit. And the cool thing about Ownit is you can also search by salary, or not search by, but you can also look up salary information specific to your state. So that's super cool. So these are important. And I'm going to scroll down to, I think, where you can find that information, work values. Here we go. That's way down at the bottom. Wage and employment trends for teaching. So median wage is 62,000. Projected job growth is faster than average. And then you can look at state trends here. So I'm in Kentucky. So I'll go down here. And here we've got the national data, so you can compare. And this is how many people are employed, projected job openings. And then it should give us, did they not have, I'm not seeing salary information. Usually they used to have salary information for the specific states. They must have taken that off here. All right, so, but you can see that the growth for this field is growing by 22%, okay, versus the national average is 9%, so that's cool. Back over here, because I'm going to highlight, consider all the factors that impact these. So what am I talking about by this? All right, first of all, this is annual average, okay? So this is the average of all the people in all the country. Oh, they've got it separate. Local salary information. Sorry. But all the people in all the United States, okay? So that's the median, right? About the middle range here. So you can look at Kentucky, which is red. And so the median range for Kentucky is a little bit higher than the national average. High range is a little bit lower than the national average, okay? So that's considering things like, so the factors you want to consider for teaching in particular are the school district, the location, rural versus urban, how many years of teaching experience are you bringing to the table, the teaching, especially in post-secondary or secondary education, you're looking at things like social studies versus science versus math. So that's going to make a difference on projected outlook as well as potentially your salary, okay? So just because you're looking at this information here doesn't give you the whole picture, okay? So you want to, again, take this with kind of a grain of salt. The second thing you want to be aware of is that this is based on the current economy. And this is, like, sometimes it's really accurate, okay? Fields like education tend to be pretty steady. There are some fields that are less stable, though. So, like, when the economy crashed in 2008, there are some fields that the bottom just, like, literally dropped out of it overnight. So, like, the construction industry, the real estate industry, right? People in construction were going from making $20+ an hour to $8 an hour and barely able to find a job. People in real estate were making hundreds of thousands of dollars and then were having to lose their homes because they're going, they just don't have enough money to make payments, okay? So I say that not to scare you. I say that to make you aware that this isn't going to grant you a job. Okay, especially if you're early on, like in your college career, and you still have a couple of years ahead of you of education and training. That's going to change in the next couple of years, and so you shouldn't use this this information alone to make your decision. Okay, again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying this isn't the whole story. The other things you want to look at, and these are what I really recommend you focus on, are this information up here. And this is where it's helpful to have a little bit of knowledge of yourself. So some of the daily tasks you're going to be doing, technology skills you need to have, knowledge. You're going to be doing a lot of talking. You need to have a certain level of reading comprehension, work activities. So these are the day-to-day things you're going to be doing, and this is what's really going to impact your job satisfaction. Education. Let's see. This is specific to the Holland's codes here. Work values. here's what I really recommend you look at is, especially if you're undecided, are these related occupations, because these are going to give you some other ideas. Again, if you don't have a huge knowledge of the world of work, explore, take a look at these other things that you might do. Okay. You can search for job openings. This is sometimes really useful to give you an idea of what's actually out there. And I actually clicked on post-secondary. I just realized not secondary jobs. Oh, look, there's no post-secondary jobs. The other place that I would recommend you go is the Occupational Outlook Handbook. So I'm going to click on that next. This is put out by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, so it's going to be really up to date. Again, you can search for occupations in different ways on here, just like Ownit, by median pay, by number of new jobs, entry-level education, and so on. I'm going to recommend you, again, be a little bit more specific and look just at different jobs. So say you are interested in something in the farming and fishing industries. Let's say you're looking at forest conservation here. This is going to give you, this is my favorite one. I like this one better than Ownit. I'm just going to admit it. This is going to give you the stuff you want to look at right up here, so just kind of like a summary. $26,940 per year, $12 per hour, high school diploma or equivalent. You're going, oh no, I can't live on that, right? That is a super high pay. Moderate term on the job training, number of jobs, slower than average, okay? So this is a potential issue. Does that mean you should not choose this field? No. Okay, you need to look at other stuff too. You need to dig a little bit deeper. So don't just stop with this, all right? Don't let this tell the whole story for you, because it's not telling the whole story. You want to look at what they do. Does this sound like something you're interested in? Because if it is, you can keep going and do a little bit more research and see if maybe there's some way to make a little bit more money than $24,000 a year or $26,000. Work environment. Does this still sound like something you might want to do? How to become one. So what we're looking at right here is someone with a high school diploma, okay? So there are actually other jobs out there that require a higher degree. Let's look at pay. So we're getting up here to a little bit higher, right, for total of all occupations. So let's look over here to similar occupations, because maybe there's something else out there. So let's look at conservation scientists. Oh my goodness, look at this. Now we're up to $60,000 a year, okay? And we're looking at what they do. Oversee conservation activities, work environment, how to become one. Here you go. You need a bachelor's degree in forestry or a related field. Although graduate work is not generally required, some scientists and foresters get a master's degree or PhD. Okay, so back to where we were at the workers, those are probably like summer workers who are hired. Those are people who are out there. A lot of times they'll hire like interns or people who are in school to help them do the legwork of the research. This is, especially if you're in college or you're starting college, this is probably what you're looking at right here. If you're wanting to get into this field. So you're looking at getting a bachelor's degree, maybe beyond. And you're looking at making a much higher income. And so this is also a good argument for education and how much it can increase your pay. Okay? So again, don't just stop, right? Don't just stop with that little one click. Whoa, I'm trying to get back to where I was. Don't just stop here at $26,000 an hour or a year and say, "Oh no, I can't do this." All right, do a little bit more digging. Okay, this is what research is. It's not just one click and done. All right, see if you can find something else, and then you can even keep clicking on similar occupations, which I again recommend. Zoologists and wildlife biologists. So there's lots and lots of jobs out there, even just within this very specific field, animal care and service workers, environmental specialists, and so on, all right? So this is another great resource for you to do your research. Back over to my steps. All right, so you're looking at job descriptions, training requirements, work environment. Those things are going to tell you what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And again, those things are really going to impact your job satisfaction. Definitely look at the related fields because that's going to open up a lot of doors for you. Follow up with even more specific sources of information as you get more and more secure in your career choices, okay? This can be something like, let's go back. Here we go. To our scientists and see what they've got for more info. Okay, so this is something like the Society of American Foresters. They're going to give you specific information, and a lot of times these groups will also provide you with information on education, what kind of schools you might look at, accreditation if that's an issue. Here you go, accreditation and academic programs. A lot of times they'll provide you ways to search for accredited programs, or at least know what to search for. Okay. Licensure, certifications you might be able to get. Students and parents. And you're also going to be able to look at careers. Let's see if it gives us access. Yep, you can search careers this way. Again, especially just starting off, I recommend just to click on some things that sound interesting. Don't pay attention to where it's at. Just click on them and see what they do, what the requirements are. This is going to give you an idea of if it's something that you're interested in and how do you get there. Okay, so if this is, oh my gosh, this looks like the best job in the world for you, how do you get here? Okay, how do you get to where you can apply for a job like this? You look at these requirements here. Okay, so it requires a decent amount of experience. It also requires a bachelor's degree in agriculture or related field. This is something you can work on now. Restricted use pesticide license, certified burner and pile burner. These are also things you can work on now, or things that you want to make sure you're looking at in your education or your entry-level jobs, those first jobs you're going to get. Are they going to give you that training that you need to move up in the field? Okay. And again, more resources here for you. So these are, once again, my two favorite sites. Other places to look are going to be your school. If you're in college, your school's website. They're going to provide great resources for you. Follow up with, a lot of times there are career counselors or career advisors in your specific like major at your school. So let's say you're majoring in agriculture, you're probably going to have someone in the career center who just works with ag majors, okay? Or someone at least within, who works with majors within your college. And so follow up with them and see what other resources they can give you. You can go to job fairs, you can go to internship fairs. Those are other places to get information after you go through these steps, okay? So that's how you're going to get those more specific bits of information that you want as you get more and more secure in your choice.